Welcome to YouTube channel In Prayer in Faith. We're going to talk about Jonah was a prophet. Jonah, what happened to Jonah? Jonah was a prophet. A prophet is someone who can hear from God. So what happened with Jonah? God told Jonah to do something. He told Jonah to go to Nineveh. Nineveh was a big city, but inside that big city, the people were doing things they weren't supposed to do. God told them not to do this, and they did it. Did you ever do something that your mommy or daddy told you not to do? And you did it, and then it's like, no, don't do that. And then you get in trouble. So that's what happened. Jonah was told to go to the city of Nineveh, but he didn't go. He went the other way, and he got in trouble. And when he went the other way, he got on this big, tall ship. And because he refused to go to Nineveh, he did not want to listen to God. So he got on the ship, and there was a big storm. And that storm was so big, it was rocking the boat back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then the next thing you know, the men on the ship said, someone must have done a terrible thing because the gods are upset with us. And they got all the men out on the boat and said, who has done such a terrible thing that caused the gods to get angry? Jonah said, it's me. And Jonah told them, throw me over the boat. But the men didn't want to throw him over the boat. But Jonah said, this will stop if you throw me over the boat. So they threw Jonah over the boat. And over the boat he went. And guess what? God made this big whale open his mouth. And Jonah went into the belly of the whale. And it was dark inside the belly of the whale. And Jonah stayed in there for 3 days. 3 days in the belly of the whale. And Jonah said, I think I'll listen to God. And he prayed. And he said, God, I will listen to you. I will do as you say. I will go to Nineveh. And guess what? God made the whale open his mouth. And Jonah popped out. And Jonah went to Nineveh. And guess what we need to do? We need to obey and do what God tells us to do. Youth, we need to obey, and we need to do what our parents tell us to do, as long as it's not illegal. And then, yes, we need to do what our parents tell us to do. We need to do what God tells us to do, and we need to obey. So when Jonah got to Nineveh, he did exactly what God told him to do, and it was a success. The people of Nineveh were saved from their sins, and they were able to live longer and be prosperous at that particular point in time. And that's the end of the story for the youth today. Yay! In Prayer in Faith, out for the youth story of Jonah the prophet.